Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our internship webinar today, focusing on career development. This is our final internship of the semester, so we're really happy you all could join us here. If you're watching with us live on Zoom, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat with your name and major. My name is Amy, and I'm the Program Specialist and Internship Coordinator at CLACS, which is the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies. I'd like to quickly introduce my colleagues, Rachel Heglund, who is the Program Associate and Internship Coordinator in the Department of African and African Diaspora Studies, as well as Sophia Betcher, who is the Administrative Assistant and Social Media Manager for Global and International Studies. Before we get started, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please type them in the chat at any time. We're going to take questions during the last 10 to 15 minutes of the panel. Although Rachel, Sophia, and I represent different programs on campus, we wanted to create a space for everyone to come and learn about internships from a variety of perspectives. Earlier this year, we've heard from employers, from internship coordinators, and from student interns. Today, we're going to hear from Karman Jackson from CPaRC, which is the Career Planning and Resource Center at UWM. CPaRC services are useful to students of all majors and students at any point in their academic career. So whether you're still looking for an internship or are in the search for a job after graduation, CPaRC has some great resources for UWM students. So without further ado, let's welcome Karman to present.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. As was shared earlier, my name is Karman Jackson. My official title is the Associate Director of Employer Relations. My primary role with the university and with CPaRC is to provide a lens for students to connect with employers, whether that looks like for-profit or nonprofit or government entities. We pride ourselves within the Career Planning and Resource Center with having the opportunity to help support students and help them to lean into where they see themselves once they graduate from the university. We definitely assist with resume writing. We help you with being able to successfully translate those skill sets to our employers by way of interviews. We also help you to be able to navigate how you see yourself. And so that entire career planning process can take anywhere between 1 to 3 months, which is why we encourage students to come often and to come early. It's definitely not a bad idea to start at the freshman level, as your interests will change as you start to take courses, you start to build relationships with your peers, and also the work that you're doing within the institution will help to drive and guide your direction. And so we pride ourselves again within the Career Planning and Resource Center with assisting to help you translate those things and to be able to put yourself in a position either to obtain an internship opportunity, a co-op, assist with volunteer opportunities, job shadowing. We also have a career closet if you need clothing as well to help finish that look and also to be able to communicate in that way to employers. So we're really excited about being a part of this panel today, and we look forward to seeing you virtually in our offices as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Karman. For people watching live, if you have questions for Karman, please continue to post those in the chat anytime throughout the presentation today, and we'll get to those during the Q&A at the end. So I'm going to pull up our presentation. We're going to go over our internship programs in each of our respective departments. So one moment. Let's see. Apologies for the delay. All right, and view present. All right, so for those of you who do not know me, my name is Rachel Heglund. I'm the Program Associate and Internship Coordinator at the Department of African and African Diaspora Studies at UWM. A little bit about the department. African and African Diaspora Studies, or AADS, examines the cultural societies and political economies of people of African descent in the United States and throughout the world. The study is relevant to everyone regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, sexuality, or gender. And the department offers both undergraduate and graduate degrees. For our undergraduate program, we offer both a major and a minor, and for the graduate program, we offer both a master's and a PhD. And we'll send out this presentation to attendees and registrants after the webinar, so you can access some of these links. But here's just some more information and links to our webpage about our undergraduate program, our internship program, as well as career opportunities for African and African diaspora studies graduates. All right, so a little bit about our internship program. Students, we have opportunities for students to receive academic course credit while working at an internship. So in order to do that, you enroll first in AFRI 489. And eligibility to enroll in our internship course, you must have achieved junior or senior standing, have a cumulative GPA of at least 2.25, and you must have completed at least one 300 level course or above in AADS. And then most importantly, you must first have secured an internship placement before enrolling in the course. Now, the internship course is open to all students at UWM. However, preference will be given to AADS majors and minors, and it's not a requirement for our program or degrees, but it is strongly encouraged. And then a little bit about the requirements. For the internship, we require that you work at least 120 hours during the semester, which comes about 40 hours per credit. It's a 3-credit course, and that can include your academic work as well. Payment is not required but encouraged, and that's not determined by our department, but it would be determined by your internship site. Location of the internship can be virtual, local, or international, and duties must be more than the basic administrative tasks. So all that really means is that you're helping out in some way, whether it be virtual communications, marketing, research, something of that nature. We just don't want you making copies all day. So yeah, and then one little caveat here, as I noted before, our minimum requirement for the GPA is 2.25. However, that can vary based on the organization that you have an internship at. So for example, the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors internship program has a requirement of 2.75 GPA. But let's say if you get an internship at a different organization and they don't have a GPA requirement, then our minimum requirement is 2.25. Okay, so a little bit about the process. Step 1, you connect with me, the internship coordinator at AADS, to express interest in enrolling in the course and pursuing an internship for course credit. Step 2 would be to apply to the internship site and identify a faculty advisor. We do encourage students to find internship or opportunities on their own, but of course I can help you based on your research interest. If you're not sure where to start, just contact me, and I'll show you some examples of organizations in a little bit here. Step 3 would be to, and then also just want to also note for the faculty advisor, I can also assist you with that. We do like to assign faculty advisors to your course whose research interests are related to your internship. So I can certainly help you with that. Step 3 is submit the internship agreement form before the semester add deadline after you secured an internship. So once you've been accepted for the placement, I send this internship agreement form to you, and then your site supervisor, your faculty advisor, and you sign it, send it to me, and then I approve it. And then step 4 would be you receive instruction on enrolling in 489, which means I just go into pause and set your student permission so that you can enroll in the course. And then your internship begins. And then for more information about the process, as well as requirements, please visit our internship page, which is down here at this link. All right, so as I noted, here are some examples of organizations that either have expressed interest in hosting an AADS intern or have done so already in the past. So I know, for an example, Black Lens, which is part of MKA Film, they have internship opportunities this fall. Ubuntu Research and Evaluation, we currently have an AADS minor interning there, and he does virtual communications and research. And then also we heard from the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors last week at our first panel, and they have internships in the office of Vice Chairwoman Marcella Nicholson. who's also the supervisor for District 5. In Milwaukee, they have internship opportunities this summer and fall, and the deadline for the summer is May 9th. So if you're interested in interning there and enrolling in 489 during the summer, please contact me and I'll send you more information. All right, and then also just to note, these are just examples of qualifying organizations for our internship course. If you have other ideas or are interested in other organizations, but you're not sure whether or not they would count, please contact me. And yeah, we're definitely very flexible. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. So CLACS, which again is the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies, offers 2 academic programs. We have a major in LACUSL, which is Latin American, Caribbean, and US Latinx Studies. And we offer a certificate in LACS, which is Latin American and Caribbean Studies. And students can earn credit by interning for either of these programs. Next slide, please. So in case you missed our earlier presentations, I'm going to go over some details for the internship process. Students can intern during any semester and have any academic standing, and you don't need to be declared in either program, although of course it is preferred. And regarding payment, whether or not you get paid is up to the internship site themselves. Some internship sites offer unpaid internships. Some sites offer a stipend to students. Some offer an hourly pay. So it really just depends on the internship site. Students can intern virtually, locally, or internationally, but regardless of where the internship is, the duties can vary depending on the site, but must be related to LACUSL or LACS. So as Rachel said, and it goes for our programs too, we want you to do more than just filing papers or just answering phones. We really want this to be a meaningful internship experience. And if you want to see the complete details, you can visit our website below, uwm.edu/LACUSL. Okay, now I'll go over like a brief process, which is really similar to what Rachel provided for her students in her department. So step 1 is contacting me, the internship coordinator, to express interest in interning for credit. I can assist you in finding an internship site, connecting you with a faculty supervisor, and helping you get paperwork underway and supporting you throughout your internship. Step 2 is applying directly to the internship site. It's your responsibility to adhere to the internship site's particular application deadlines. Some sites have very specific deadlines, while others are on a rolling basis. So just make sure you are aware of those. Also, keep in mind what they require for the application. Some sites have an online application. Some sites just have you email a cover letter and resume. Many sites operate differently, so make sure you understand the application requirements. And upon applying to the internship site, identify a faculty supervisor. This is someone at UWM who will work with you on the academic component of your internship. You want to find a faculty member who potentially you've worked with in the past that has a background related to your internship site. And feel free to ask me for help if you need assistance in identifying one. Step 3 is submitting the internship agreement form before the semester ad deadline. It's basically just an overview of your duties and your schedule, and it's used to make sure your responsibilities at the internship site align with the program that you're enrolled in, so LACUSL or LACS, and to make sure everyone, being the internship site, your faculty supervisor, yourself, and I are all in agreement with the arrangement. Step 4 is that I will review the form and give you instructions on enrolling in the course, and then you'll begin interning. And here's a small list of some places that could benefit from having a LACUSL or LACS student intern. And these are just a few places you can intern at. I've provided more suggestions on our website, although we encourage you to research sites that fit your specific interests.
Hi guys, my name is Sophia Betcher and I'm here to represent the Global and International Studies program today. And I just want to chat with you guys a bit about specifically international internships. and how they play a role in our programs, but also are a great option for any student, even if you're not specifically a global or international studies major. So, Global Studies program requires our students to complete an international internship and a study abroad program. The International Studies program does not require the students to complete an international internship, and that is kind of one of the main differences between the two programs. But recently, we've actually expanded our requirements a bit for the Global Studies internship requirement. So now it has to be either an international internship, which you would do abroad, though technically right now, I should clarify this for all of you guys. Most international internships are being completed virtually. However, in the next year or two, we're expecting things to open back up to normal and have students actually go abroad to complete their international internships. So that's the main option, but we've expanded it to also include domestic internships that have an international focus, just because we know it's kind of tough for students to get abroad more than once during college, and not everybody's able to do study abroad and their international internship at the same time. So we want to make it a bit more accessible and give our students more options. So you could complete an internship domestically here in Milwaukee or a different city in the United States. And as long as that internship has some sort of international focus, or if it's for a global company, we will count it. So if we can move along to the next slide, I can tell you guys all about the two main pathways to finding international internships, just because we know that it's a little bit confusing and intimidating sometimes to find one since it's not here in the States. So you have to go about it in a little bit of a different way than you might if you're finding an internship based here in Milwaukee. So the first main pathway to finding an international internship is networking. It's important to think through your personal network and your potential connections. Think about your family, your friends, and keep an eye out for opportunities available through this network. One of the key things here is not being afraid to let people know that you're in the market for an international internship or a domestic internship with a global focus, or really any internship. This is good advice even if you're not doing global studies, but I digress. I know it can be a little intimidating. You might feel a little bit shy letting people know that you're looking for one, but if you let them know, most people are more than happy to help you out. And that way they'll be keeping you in mind if something comes across their desk, they can pass it along to you. It's a good way to expose yourself to more opportunities. And this is especially useful in the context of domestic internships. The other main pathway to finding an international internship is through paid providers. So this has some upsides and some downsides to it. The main downside of paid providers, or really the only downside of paid providers, is that it has a financial component to it. So it does cost money, as you know, in the title, which we understand can definitely be a deterrent for many people. However, the upside, if you are willing to pay fees, is that they take care of everything else for you. So they are finding the internship for you, they're placing you in the internship, they really take all the burden of the internship search process off of you when you pay that fee. There are a variety of levels of different types of paid providers. So some have lower fees and like they just place you and that's kind of it. And then you're kind of on your own from there. Other ones you pay a bit more. And like if you're doing an in-person international internship in normal times, they'll provide you housing. They might provide a course to go alongside your internship so that it can count for academic credit. So it's really good to research all the different paid providers, get a feel for how their programs vary so you can find one that's a good fit for you. So moving along, one option that we really want to highlight to you guys is the option to complete an international internship while you are studying abroad. As I mentioned earlier, for global studies, our students are required to study abroad and to complete an international internship. So we always encourage them, if you can, or if you'd like to, try to, there's a lot of, especially if you're paid providers, you can find programs that incorporate an international internship in tandem with your study abroad semester. So you're kind of knocking it off both at once, but this is still a great option even if you're not in global studies and you're just interested in studying abroad. Consider looking at the different opportunities out there for completing an internship during that semester, just because it's a really great feather in your cap when you're applying to jobs later or applying to grad school, and also just a really great personal growth experience for you. So if you are interested in this, You can always reach out to us at Global Studies and ask more about it. We'd love to chat with you about it. And also be sure to talk to our friends over at the Study Abroad office. They have lots of resources available. They really want to help you find a good fit. There's so many different types of study abroad programs and international internships available out there. So don't be afraid to reach out, and they can kind of go through it with you too, and help you find the right one for you. I've included some examples here of different paid provider programs. I personally, for my study abroad program, went through CEA. Eli Abroad is another one that's really great. I mean, they're all great. These are just some of the ones that I've had more personal connections with. Eli Abroad is a little bit more hands-off. That they also do a lot of like volunteer programs, which for global studies, if you go through something like that, like a volunteer position, we can count that for an internship credit. So if you find an exciting international volunteer opportunity abroad, you can always reach out to Christine and ask her, and we can have a discussion about whether that could count for your internship requirement. So finally, just want to go over with you guys financing international internship opportunities, because we know it can sound a little bit scary and a little hard to tackle at first, because obviously with travel comes financial costs. However, we have a few different options available to you guys to make it a little less intimidating and a little more doable. So for specifically global study students, we have the Ian Elliott Memorial Scholarship, and that can be used to cover overseas internships and study abroad related expenses. And then we also have, for both global studies and international study students, the CLACS Scholarship. Covers, you know, same kind of costs and stuff as the Ian Elliott, but it's for both programs. So those are scholarships specific to our programs. You can also go through this Panther Scholarship portal, I'm pretty sure it's called, and check out other ones. But also really want to encourage you to check out the Study Abroad office's Financing Study Abroad 101 sessions. They offer them multiple times throughout the year. They're currently being offered virtually. And they're really helpful and give you very in detail advice on how to make study abroad or interning abroad financially possible for you, how to use financial aid that you would use for a normal semester to finance those options. So make sure to check those out.
And in addition to those funding opportunities that Sophia mentioned, the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies also offers the Donald R. Shea Study Abroad Scholarship, which, as the name indicates, of course, can fund study abroad opportunities, but can also fund internships, both in person and virtual. So if you're interested, please let me know and I can follow up with more information. And we would now like to open this internship panel up for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or click the raise your hand feature.
All right, so it doesn't look like we have any questions right now in the chat, but of course, if you do have questions, continue to post them. I do have one question for Kamara. If you could let us know, I know that CPaRC continuously holds career and internship fairs. I was wondering if you can maybe tell us a little bit about the organizations that visit your internship fairs, you know, whether you have specific examples or just general career fields.
Absolutely. So I put actually a lot of stuff in the chat that I'll probably talk to as well. So we host both various career fairs throughout the year. And of course, because of COVID, we've had to switch over to a virtual platform. However, I will say this, the switch to virtual definitely has not stopped employers from hiring. As a matter of fact, it's actually changed how they hire. They're more focused on those skill sets, which is really important. So I'm really glad that Rachel, Amy, and Sophia have all talked about and introduced the programs. One of the things that employers look for our core competencies, right? So I'm going to get back to the fairs in a minute, but I thought that this was a great way to segue into how students can prepare themselves and tie it into each program that has been shared out today. The things that each student will retrieve from each experience are the exact same skill sets that employers are looking for. So how to work in teams, how to have an international lens, how to be able to solve problems, and how to be able to bring solutions as well, how to think about things differently, the entire lens and scope of being diverse, equitable, and inclusive. So all of these skill sets that you're learning from these programs are exact correlation to what employers are looking for. So when they come to the career fairs, it's not just an opportunity to pick up swag or to say, hey, what opportunities do you have? It really is a great chance for students to position themselves appropriately and talk about the things that they bring out. And I often kind of equate interviewing and the entire positioning in that process to dating. If you were dating someone, you would want them to see your best self. And so you're going to use that very small window that you have to be able to let them know how awesome you are. And so from a professional lens, you're just translating that into why that person should hire you. Why do they need you, right? And so being able to talk about these experiences that you have is definitely going to help you to be able to navigate being a student and going into that professional realm. Our fairs right now, we're planning continuously ahead. We're already having conversations about what the fall 2021 and spring 22 are going to look like. We recently just finished our diversity fair, which was in February. Prior to that, we had our all majors fair in October. And then there was also a small fair that addressed the needs of those that are in healthcare and education. And so we're intentional about selecting employers that have, number one, the opportunities that align with the academic majors at the university, and also that value being able to hire with a diverse, equitable, and inclusive lens. So I hope that each of you will take these opportunities that have been presented today and recognize that your path may look differently because of COVID, but it's all a setup. It's a setup to position yourself to be unique, to be able to highlight what makes you differently from an MSOE student, a Marquette student, a Madison student, and the people that are on the webinar today are all in position to help you to be able to form those relationships and to be able to help you to move forward. So hopefully I answered that question that was shared out. Lastly, before I turn the stage back over to my colleagues, is that the opportunity to talk about these experiences are even more instrumental with virtual, especially at the virtual fair. So for those of you that have been, the virtual fair module that we use through Handshake allows you to have 10 minutes with one employer. So this is actually a little bit different than if you were to go to an in-person fair where you may only have 30 seconds, or you at the most will have 2 minutes because there's a line of students behind you all wanting to do the same things. When you attend a virtual fair, you actually have a set 10 minutes that you can schedule with that employer. And it also gives you direct connection. And so what we do in the center, I shared out some of the things that we do in the Career Planning and Research Center, but it also gives you that direct access to that employer. So think about the unique opportunity that provides. Not only do you have 10 minutes to work one-on-one with that employer, you also get an opportunity to ask if you can connect with that employer on social media. And it also gives you direct connection to the employer. So if there are things that you want to do, like following up on an interview or finding out the status of an application, or to be able to ask that employer to serve as a mentor or present an opportunity to do a virtual job shadow, you now have that opportunity because of that virtual connection that you may not have had in person. So I hope that that addresses an encompassing message about the services that we offer, the importance of taking advantage of every opportunity that you have, even if it doesn't look like 100% direct path that you envision. There's always that opportunity to talk about the opportunity to study abroad, and international focus, job shadowing, volunteering, those things like that will help you to stand out between you and your counterparts at the university. So I hope that helps and provides a different lens.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kamara. Yes, students continue to check out their web pages, CPaRC's web pages, as well as review what Kamara said here in the chat for the different services they provide. And as Kamara noted, our fields of study, whether it be CLACS, global studies, international studies, or African and African diaspora studies, this is what employers are looking for, this type of training. Oh, and I see here Kamara just included the link to the website in the chat, and I'll also be sure to include that in the follow-up email. And as she noted, yes, please, I've been interviewing alumni for our department the past couple weeks, and every single person has said, you know, note that on your resume. It sets you apart that you are studying a field, especially with, you know, the social inequities that are in our society. They want to know that you have this training. It sets you apart from everyone else and, you know, applying for jobs. So if we do not have any other questions, and it doesn't look like we do, so I guess I will conclude our presentation today. I want to thank all of our panelists so much, Amy, Sophia, Kamara, greatly appreciate you being here. And for our registrants and attendees, I'll send out a follow-up email with the link to our presentation, the link to all of our websites, and please be sure to let us know if you have any questions about the information here, or any suggestions about information that you would like to include in future presentations like this. We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. And thank you so much for coming today. And yes, oh, and then also too, this will be recorded, and I'll include the link to the recording in that follow-up email. So if you want to review at a later date, it will be available on our Facebook pages and on our YouTube page as well. So thank you so much again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.